Hello, good morning, my dear students. I, myself, Jyoti Saroj, welcome you all to the virtual session of Std-9th, chapter-16, that is the life processes in living organism. Student, this is the second part of this chapter. First part is already completed. If you haven't watched it, please click into the description box, go there and check it. Students, let's have a look what you're going to learn in this virtual session of this chapter. So student, learning objectives will be you're going to learn about coordination in plants and coordination in human being. So students, let's start. Students, now let us see what does the word coordination means. So student, in a simple word, coordination means the process of organizing people or groups so that they work together properly and well. Now the student, coordination in human being and plants, it means the harmonious functioning, means harmonious functioning of parts for effective result. It may be hormones or it may be organs. Okay, organ also work in a proper manner to make us alive, to make the life process smoothly. So this is called coordination. Now student, several different organ systems function in multicellular organism, as you all know. Their life goes on smoothly if there is coordination between the different organ system or organs and the stimuli in the surrounding. Student, here stimuli means provocation. Okay, it means provocation. So student, depending upon this, we can say that systematic regulation of different processes can be called control, and bringing about the different processes in the proper sequence can be called coordination. So I hope now coordination word is clear to you all. Next topic is coordination in plants. Plants do not have systems like nervous system or muscular system of animals, as you all know. Then how do plants bring about movements? So student, in plants, movements are mainly in the form of responses given to the stimuli. Stimuli means messages, provocation from the environment. Okay, for an example, there may be water, sunlight, etc. So from their responses, the movement in the plants occur. Now we will see some of the types of movement in plants. So student, the first type of movement in plant is tropism or tropic movement. Student, usually in this type of movement, there will be growth of any part of the plant in response to an external stimulus. Okay, in response to an external stimulus is called tropism or tropic movement. Any of, as you can see, this plant, it is moving with the help of the stick. Okay, this is a type of a creeper. Okay, so it needs a support to grow. So the external response, here the external response is this stick, or you can say a rope. Okay, so with the help of that rope or a stick, this plant will make a certain movement, as you can see here. So this kind of a movement is called tropism or tropic movement. Next type is phototropic movement. Student, usually the shoot system of any plant, shoot you all already aware. Okay, root and the upper part is called shoot. Okay, so the shoot system of any plant respond to the light stimulus. Light stimulus means it may be a sunlight, light from the sun, or it may be any kind of a light. As you can see here the image, it is a bulb, and these plants are responding towards the bulb, means making a movement towards this light. Understood? So that is, it grows towards the source of light. So the movement shown by plant towards the source of light is called photo. Photo means light. Tropic movement. Student, next one is gravitropic movement. The root system of plants respond to stimulus like gravitation, that is gravity. As you can see here, this plant is bending, but then too it is growing towards up. So this is called gravitropic movement. Next is hydrotropic movement. Student, here hydro means water. Okay, the root system of plants respond to stimuli like water. As you can see in the image, the root system is responding towards the water, means making a movement towards the water. So this is called hydrotropic movement. Student, that was all about the coordination in plants. Okay, the various type of a movement. Now we will be learning about coordination in human being. Students, different processes goes on simultaneously in the human body. Simultaneously means साथ. Okay, so all these processes need to be efficiently and effectively controlled and coordinated. So this is done with the help of two systems within our body. The first is nervous control and the second one is chemical control. I hope student you understand this कि हमारी बॉडी में जो प्रोसेसेस हैं ओके वो साथ साथ चलते हैं. लाइफ प्रोसेसेस, ये सारे प्रोसेसेस शुड बी एफिशिएंटली एंड इफेक्टिवली कंट्रोल एंड कोऑर्डिनेटेड. ये दो चीज़ कंट्रोल और कोऑर्डिनेशन होता है विद द हेल्प ऑफ क्या दो सिस्टम है. पहला हमारा सिस्टम है नर्वस कंट्रोल और दूसरा सिस्टम है केमिकल कंट्रोल. नाउ वी विल बी learning about these two type of a system. So first one is nervous control. Student, humans can respond to changes in their surroundings due to nervous control. Impulses are generated in the human body in accordance with changes in the surrounding. For an example, if outside there is a cold, so your body will respond immediately that there is a cold. You will start feeling cold. So the impulses are generated in the human body in accordance with changes in the surrounding. Nervous control plays the important role of empowering the body cells with ability to respond these impulses. This ability depends upon the complexity of organization in the organism's body structure. Unicellular animals like the amoeba do not have a nervous system which produces such impulses and responses. However, multicellular animals like humans have a nervous system to respond to the stimuli. Control and coordination is brought about with the help of a special type of cells called nerve cells or neurons. Now student, nerve cells are those special types of cells which conduct impulses from one place to another in the body. Neurons are the structural and functional unit of the nervous system. Nerve cells, the largest cell in the human body, may measure up to a few meters in length. Nerve cells have the ability to generate and conduct electrochemical impulses. The cells that support the nerve cells and help in their functioning are called neuroglia. Nerve cells and neuroglial cells together forms the nerves. So according to their function, nerve cells are classified into three types. First is sensory neurons, motor neurons and association neurons. Student, sensory neurons are those which conduct impulses from sensory organ to the brain and the spinal cord. Are you understanding? Sensory organ are those which conduct impulses, means message from sensory organ. Sensory organ may be your skin, your muscles, okay, to the brain and the spinal cord. Next is motor neuron. Motor neurons are those which conduct messages from the brain or spinal cord to effectors organs like muscles or glands. For an example, your brain sends a message to the skin. For an example, you get a burn, okay? Immediately you take your hand or finger away from that. That means your sensory neuron is working and sending impulses to the brain. Again, the brain will send impulses, messages to the effector organ like skin that take away your hand. Understanding? Sensory organ neuron and motor neuron. And the last one is association neuron. Student, association neurons perform the function of integration in the nervous system. Means it plays a role of association. It associates with both sensory neuron and the motor neuron. Students, the human nervous system is divided into following three parts: the central nervous system or CNS, peripheral nervous system or PNS, and autonomic nervous system, that is ANS. So let's have a look on central nervous system. Student, central nervous system or CNS is consist of a brain and spinal cord. The organization of brain is extremely delicate and highly evolved. बहुत डेलिकेट होता है and highly evolved means बहुत सारी चीज़ें उसे हैं ब्रेन के अंदर. The brain is the main controlling part of nervous system and it is safely located in the cranial cavity. किस में brain locate है? Cranial cavity, that is skull. The spinal cord is protected by the vertebral column. और spinal cord किससे protect है? Vertebral column. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम किससे कंसिस्ट है? ब्रेन एंड स्पाइनल कॉर्ड से. ब्रेन बहुत डेलिकेट है ना, हाईली इवॉल्व है. और ब्रेन किस में लोकेट है? प्रोटेक्टेड है क्रेनियल कैविटी में. और स्पाइनल कॉर्ड किस में प्रोटेक्टेड है? वर्टिब्रल कॉलम में. नाउ द स्पेस बिटवीन द डेलिकेट सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम एंड इट्स बोनी कवरिंग. समझ रहे हो? स्पेस बिटवीन स्कल, ब्रेन की बात कर रही हो, अंडरस्टूड? द स्पेस बिटवीन द सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम एंड इट्स बोनी कवरिंग. स्कल और ब्रेन के बीच में जो स्पेस है वो किससे फिल है? प्रोटेक्टिव लेयर्स कॉल्ड मेनिंगस. नाउ स्टूडेंट, cavities present in various parts of the brain are called ventricles. कैविटीज़ मतलब होल. कहाँ पर? ब्रेन के अंदर जो छोटे छोटे होल्स हैं उसे क्या बोला जाता है? वेंट्रिकल्स. और स्पाइनल कॉर्ड में लॉन्ग ट्यूबुलर कैविटी है. अंडरस्टूड? कैसे है? ट्यूबुलर शेप में लॉन्ग कैविटी इज कॉल्ड सेंट्रल कैनल. द वेंट्रिकल्स, सेंट्रल कैनल एंड स्पेसेस बिटवीन द मेनिंगस. समझ रहे हो? Ventricle, central canal and space between the meninges are filled with cerebrospinal fluid. Understood? किससे fill है? Cerebrospinal fluid. This fluid supplies nutrient to the central nervous system. क्या supply करता है? Nutrient to the central nervous system and protect it from the shock, any kind of a shock. Understood, student? Now, student, The brain of an adult human weigh about 1300 to 1400 grams and consists of approximately 100 billion neurons. कितना वेट है अडल्ट ह्यूमन के ब्रेन का? 1300 to 1400 grams. Now the left side of our brain, अंडरस्टूड, जो लेफ्ट साइड है ब्रेन का वो कंट्रोल करता है राइट साइड की बॉडी को, अंडरस्टूड, एंड राइट साइड का जो ब्रेन है वो कंट्रोल करता है लेफ्ट साइड ऑफ द बॉडी. इन एडिशन द लेफ्ट साइड ऑफ द ब्रेन कंट्रोल्स, और क्या कंट्रोल करता है लेफ्ट साइड ब्रेन? स्पीच एंड कन्वर्सेशन, राइटिंग, लॉजिकल थिंकिंग एसेट्रा. और राइट साइड का ब्रेन और क्या कंट्रोल करता है? आर्टिस्टिक एबिलिटीज. Student, as you can see, the structure of brain consists of cerebellum, medulla oblongata and spinal cord. Let us learn in detail about these parts. Student, first cerebellum. Cerebellum, this is the largest part of our brain. Okay, as you can see in the picture, this is the largest part of our brain and consists of two cerebral hemisphere. Understood? How many hemisphere? Two cerebral hemisphere. These hemisphere are joined with each other with the help of tough fibers and nerves tract. ये दोनों hemisphere joined है with the help of tough fibers and nerve tract. The cerebrum occupies 2/3 of the brain. Hence, it is also called the large brain. Its surface has deep, irregular ridges and grooves, which are called convolution. Convolution increases the surface area of the cerebrum and therefore a large number of nerve cells can be accommodated. Understood, student, about cerebrum? This is the largest part of our brain. It occupies 2/3 of the brain and hence it is called large brain. This brain is divided into two hemispheres with the help of tough fiber and nerve tract. Its surface is deep, irregular ridges and grooves which are called convolution. Convolution increases, क्या करता है? The surface area को increase करता है and therefore a large number of nerve cell can be accommodated. Next part is cerebellum. Student, this is the smaller part of the brain situated below the cerebrum at the back of the cranial cavity. As you can see here in the diagram, this is, see here the small yellow, this is cerebellum. Okay, this is the smallest part, smaller part situated below the cerebrum. This is cerebrum, below it is a cerebellum and at the back of the cranial cavity. Student, its surface shows shallow grooves instead of deep convolution. Deep convolution is not there, it's a very shallow grooves. Its function is coordination of voluntary movements. It coordinates the voluntary movement, maintaining the body's balance. So student, voluntary means which can be controlled with the will of a individual. Now next is medulla oblongata. Student, this is the hindmost part of the brain. There are two triangular sloan structure called pyramids on the upper side of medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata continues downward as the spinal cord. As you can see here, this is medulla oblongata and it continues as a spinal cord. Its function is control of involuntary activities like the beating of the heart, blood circulation, breathing, sneezing, coughing, salivation, etc. All the movement which is not controlled by the will of an individual. Student, this is the most delicate part also. Okay, so this is medulla oblongata. Function of medulla oblongata: it controls the involuntary activity, as I told you about the beating of the heart, blood circulation, breathing, sneezing, coughing, salivation, etc. Next is spinal cord. Student, the spinal cord is a part of the central nervous system and it is held within the vertebral column. As I told you, the spinal cord is protected into the vertebral column, which is on the back side of a body, backbone. It is slightly thick but gradually tapers towards the end. मतलब स्टार्टिंग में थिक है बट एज नीचे नीचे आते आते क्या हो गया, वो थिन हो गया, मतलब पतला. There is a thread like fiber structure at its end. As you can see here, ये end में क्या है, thread like structure हो गया. Okay, it is called the phylum terminale. ये जो end वाला है, that is called phylum terminale. Now, student, what is the function of the spinal cord? The spinal cord is used for the conduction of impulses from the skin towards the brain. Impulse conduct करता है, message conduct करता है from the skin towards the brain. Conduction of impulses, that is message from brain to muscle and glands. Brain से भी कहाँ message लेकर जाता है, muscle and gland के पास. It also function as a center of coordination of reflex action. So dear students, based on this virtual module of this chapter, I would like to give you a small assignment. Question number 1. Explain coordination in plants with the help of suitable examples. What is meant by coordination? Draw well-labeled diagram of human brain, nephron, nerve cell. And the last, write notes on human brain, nerve cell and reflex action. So student, today we are going to end here. In the next virtual class, we will be learning a next interesting session of this chapter. Till then student, take care, and yes, if you like my video and you want me to make such an educational video further, please do like, share and subscribe if you haven't yet. Bye students.